Hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast. Now, what was I talking about? My name is V Noir, and this week, and well, technically last week, because I didn't mean to skip a week, but circumstances or whatever, which honestly, this episode is coming out, and then I plan on taking not necessarily a holiday break, but it's definitely going to be a break from this so I can focus on my finals and everything. And afterward, I will have more time to just dedicate to this. I mean, I'm still going to be watching movies and stuff. Like, I want to see Rental Family, and I'm going to try to catch um and Wake Up Dead Man, which is the new Knives Out mystery. I was like, what the hell is it called? Yeah, so want to check those two out. Maybe I'll see the next Wicket. We'll see how I feel. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a break. It's gonna be until probably the day before Christmas or the day after. Because my semester ends on like the 18th or something, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna be feeling crazy uh before that. So we will see. Yeah, so maybe it'll be the day after Christmas, probably the 26th is when I'll come back. So it'll be a few weeks. I mean, this is the day after Thanksgiving, a holiday that I never celebrated, that I don't believe should exist, and honestly should just be called something else. Like it, just never mind the Pilgrims or anything. Just like Christopher Columbus Day. Like he didn't land in America. He landed in the Caribbean, specifically the Dominican Republic. So it's like he's irrelevant to America as a country. Anyway, I don't. We need to stop celebrating colonizers and land back and whatnot. But yeah, this episode, which is what I wanted to release last week, because I was yeah. Basically, this is, I mean, not to call it the horny episode, but it is the horny episode because I'm going to be talking about submissive men in media. And I wanted to initially just talk about the movie Sanctuary and I wanted to rewatch it. But honestly, I really didn't have that dog in me to rewatch that. But I do really, really enjoy that movie. It is really good. Let me get into the description. So basically, in the wake of inheriting his father's hotel chain, Hal tries to end his long and secret relationship with Rebecca, a dominatrix. A battle of wills ensues over the course of one great night, with Rebecca and Hal struggling to keep the upper hand. And honestly, I loved it. I did watch it initially on a plane, which was kind of awkward. Thankfully, there weren't like explicit sex scenes, but there was definitely like he was being brought to orgasm, and that was on screen. I mean, you don't really see it. There's not really that much nudity, but I know it's like rated R because of the subject matter. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just need more submissive men, specifically being dominated by women in films, in media, and not just to be like transactional or yeah, I guess just not it just be transactional, but I think it's also like it's escapism and a fantasy for me because that is what I'm into. And with Sanctuary, it came out in 2022. It very much feels like we are kind of voyeurs on this couple's sort of what seems to be the last scene for them, which like a scene is essentially a scene or play is essentially what ooh, some people in like the kink community would call like doing anything kinky basically. I mean, when I was explaining this to my like roommate, Uh, it was very much kind of giving, this is the only thing interesting in my life, and I'm gonna make a bigger deal about it. And it's like, I mean, kinda, but it's like these things, they exist, and it is the community of people, so like, yeah, there's not necessarily like rules, but there's like guidelines and stuff. And I feel like calling something that sounded weird, but like, giving, at least for me in my head, because I have trouble going from one thing to the other. So if like I was like, "Oh, let's have a scene or let's like do something kinky or like let's play or whatever, quote unquote." That'll help me get into the headspace. So, yeah, so it's like we're coming into this couple who are in kind of like their last scene, where at this point in their relationship, he has created scripts for her. He has her wear this like blonde wig and everything. They have like this rapport, right? And so after the scene is over and they go back to just being regular and she takes her wig off, he's just like more or less saying that he has to end their relationship. And she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about because no. And it's only a back and forth for sure, where I think in the beginning I was like, I don't know if she's doing this because of the money, because he's very rich, or if she actually genuinely likes him. And in the end, it's like, no, she does legitimately like him. She makes her worth known because she's like, you got to where you are because you're able to do what we do together. And if you weren't able to do what we do, you would be sort of like groveling and all this stuff in like the real world. So he needs her in order to continue to be this like sort of powerful figure, because he needs that escapism so he's not always having to be in control of stuff. And I really liked it. And it felt like it was kind of like back to back things, because another movie that I really liked, well, I mean, I liked it enough. I was just like, that also apparently came out in 2022, is Love and Leashes. And I'm like, wow, I was just eating really well, cuz it's like I have to seek out this sort of thing through like webcomics and stuff. And it's not that much. Like you'll get a submissive guy, but it'll usually like there's a lot more submissive guys in like BL as a genre, or like Omegaverse as a genre. And it's like, usually to another guy. And I'm like, sure, I can put myself in the like more dominant guys position, because I'm like, yeah, I'm a dominant, so yes, there's that, but it's like it's not the same for me. So I don't really read too much BL unless I'm like I have an itch to scratch, and this is the closest thing because I'm already reading everything that's available, which is annoying. So like Love and Leashes is something that is a Korean webcomic that then got made into a movie, which I think is really cool. They've been making webcomics either into dramas or movies. I think this being made into a movie was better because honestly, a lot of the plot. So this is the problem that I come across actually when trying to read like femdom stuff. Femdom, I said femdom. Femdom stuff, which is like, okay, maybe there is a submissive guy and he finds like the perfect person to be dominant with him, but she either just has no knowledge of it whatsoever, or like no interest. And it's like he has to sort of get her into it. And it's just like, I kind of need y'all to be Like, it's one thing if y'all both don't have experience, but now it feels like you're sort of not grooming, but like essentially um sculpting her into the perfect dom for you, and she's not really interested, and I'm like, I kind of hate this. But also when they get over that as like a plot point, then it gets to the good stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, we got there eventually. Like, at least a good example of, okay, it started like that, but since we've been in the POV of the main character, the woman, so it's been getting good, and she's actually like, actually, no, I do enjoy this, is in the doghouse, which is it's uncensored, first of all. It's on Leeson, which is, if you know what that app is, if you know, you know. You can definitely find the chapters on other sites, which I won't say because publishers are trying to take these places down, and I just don't want to like spread any of the websites. Like, if you know where to find it, you know where to find it. I'm not like I have to gatekeep because people keep shutting these websites down, and a lot of these websites are also like where you can find some like fan translations of stuff that has never been serialized in like English or anything like that, and those are getting taken too. So it's like this stuff is needed, but rather than publishers being like, oh wow, this niche thing that's getting fan translations and lots of like readership, maybe we should get in on this and actually go out of our way to publish it so we can get money. Because for me, it's like, sure, I might go on websites to like read ahead of something that is a paid service, like maybe on like from Tapas or Leeson or whatever, but I still go back and then actually pay for it mainly because some of the fan translations are rough. But also it's like I genuinely enjoy the plot and the story, and sure, I might binge read it on like the fan sites, but I'm gonna kind of forget when I come back to it when it uploads. And it's also nice to see the different comments because some comments on like the fan sites, everybody's like really mean or rude or whatever. And then on the official sites, they can be a lot nicer. But it's also just nice to interact with the community in that way. Because for the longest time, Leeson didn't have comments on their app at all, and now they just added it. But yeah, they only just now added comments to their app. And it's like, okay, now I can interact with people. But it's like, otherwise, the only time I would even see comments on the comics that are comments on the comics, which is interesting because it feels like there's an X there, but that's actually COMICS. Um, but yeah, I'd only see comments on the fan sites, not the actual app. So it's like I couldn't even actually talk to anyone or even see how other people felt about a particular chapter. But before now, so it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, so Love and Leashes was something I like binge read on Webtoons. And Webtoons, I believe, is owned by Kakao Korea, and through them, they make the live action shows and the live action movies, which is really cool. Very exciting. So I already read Love and Leashes. I think I reread it before watching this movie. Maybe I don't remember. But either way, it's like Love and Leashes is another one where it's like, okay, the guy is submissive, but the woman gets involved with him and is just like, yeah, okay, sure. You want me to do what exactly? I mean, all right. She's so like, well, she is a deadpan like character as well, but like that's a part of her character. But at least to get into the plot, at least the plot of the manga. I call it a manga. Webcomic. So actually manhwa because it's Korean. Um Jihoon has a secret kink and has finally met the master he's been dreaming of. His coworker Jiu seems to think otherwise. Despite all the misunderstandings between them, will the two succeed in finding a balance between pleasure and pain, kink and love? And yeah, so that's the webcomic description. Let's see how Netflix describes the show, the movie. It was because it wasn't a show. It's so I love not getting a full description. Okay. Coworkers who enter a curious contractual relationship. So, Sohan and fellow K-pop idol turned actor Lee Jun Young star as coworkers who enter a curious contractual relationship. I think I just said. So yeah, that's like nothing. Nothing burger with nothing fries. But yeah, essentially what I just described the web comics description is the movie. Not that they enter in a contractual relationship, but like they do get into this relationship. He's more knowledgeable. But yeah, like I said, this is definitely one of those shows, or it's one of those scenarios again where it's like the guy is the one who's submissive, the woman doesn't really know all too much about that, and maybe she hasn't really explored her sexuality in that way, doesn't really know her kinks, but she has this sort of vibe that the male lead is attracted to, so he sees the potential for her to be a dominant figure in his life. So again, it's like, yes, it is a submissive, and you can argue that subs are the ones in control anyway. um, it's not like fully, but a scene or an activity essentially is structured around how far a person can go, and that's not just with the sub, but also with the dominant person. Because it's like if somebody asks you to do something to them that you're like, I'm not comfortable doing this, you can definitely say no. That's what I love so much about kink in general is like there's a strong emphasis on like consent and consenting to something, and you're open and honest about what you're into, and you're with a partner who is into those things too. And like, I need to get back into it and meet people and find a partner that I'm compatible with so I can just, have some fun. Um, but yeah, I was realizing like, damn, it's been a pretty long time for me because another thing that was happening was I was getting these ads for those like really short form TV shows. Now I was already getting them for like English um just like random shows, and I was like, I don't know what this bad acting is, but I'm not going to watch it. But then I was seeing like the Chinese iterations of that, but they were like historical dramas, and I just love long hair on men, so that's what was captivating me. I was just like, "Ooh, what's this long man with what's this long man? What's this man with long hair doing, and why is he crying?" Like, "Oh, a man that's crying. I love this. Okay. I'm intrigued." And then because I'm so into like isekais and rebirth stories and stuff, like with the web comics that I read so many like revenge, villainous, reborn shit that I'm like, I might have to do a separate thing where I only talk about that. I talk about the ones that I'm like currently reading because I read so many, like to the point where I'm definitely mixing up the plots. But either way, I'll just like, I was running into these ads, and I feel like I've talked about it, but I was running into these ads where It's like a historical drama or something, and the men are like crying, and they're like, "Please don't leave me," and like, I didn't know what I had until you left, and I love the wrong person," and I'm like, "Yeah, continue to beg. I need you to beg for me." Um, so glad I don't have that big of an audience because I feel like if somebody was into that, they could clip that or something. Either way, but yeah, and then so I was reading this webcomic, another one, and she was talking the main character was talking about how she had been reborn into a grovel novel, and I was realizing that I was watching a lot of these because I was binge watching the crap out of these. Not on the actual apps that they were advertising. I was just looking up the very convoluted name to some of these and then finding the whole thing because what I wasn't going to do is swipe for the next part. I needed to watch the whole thing, and sometimes these are like an hour long, 2 hour long things. I'm like, that's fine. I need to see the whole thing, and I need to see these men beg and plead and cry, and I need to feel satisfaction in this way. And then, but yeah, not until I read this comic did I realize that I was enjoying them because these men were groveling and begging. And I was like, oh shit, Jesus Christ. It's just, I keep getting my like itch through all these things that are like harmless, but like they're not kinky at all. I'm just like, no, but this man is begging and I need it. I need to experience this. Oh God, I have a problem. No, but I love a man that cries, I love a man that begs, and I love a man with long hair. Not that it's a requirement, I just like it. It just feels so I mean, you don't even oh, let me not. But to move on, because I did kind of get there a little bit. So there's another um sort of recent thing that I watched. I watched this like last Thursday, I think. This is what I wanted to talk about, which is this show, quote unquote, called My Boss, My Rules. And I ate this the fuck up because it was perfect. Submissive man, dominant woman. That's all I need, really. But it was, again, kind of a thing where she honestly, I feel like she was knowledgeable. It because it's one of those things where these shows and stuff are supposed to be like something you watch on an app or like a TikTok situation where you are swiping to get to the next part. And so because of that structure, they cut out a lot of like just the things that get you there. Sort of I mean, I don't want to call it filler, but it is, I guess, filler because these shows just get right to the point, which is kind of funny. So it's like you have the setup, and rather than spending a bunch of time waiting for something to come out of it, it's just going to happen. And so I literally found out about this because I was on Instagram and it was like a reel of like this woman drunk and she slaps the butt of this man and he just gets so excited about that. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? And I need to know more. And then I found it because I'm not watching it on Drama Box or whatever these fucking streaming things are called because there's so many. There's like so much. They also make a lot of money. Like it's actually kind of wild. But I'm like, I'm not like it has 49 episodes, but all the episodes are only like what, 30 seconds. Like just give me the whole fucking thing as a one long video. Like I found it and it was like an hour 18 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need I don't want to swipe. Don't want to swipe. Just don't do that to me. But yeah, so my boss, my rules. I feel like there's two descriptions I saw. Oh, here we go. So there's this first one. Witnessing her boss's unusual taste, the power dynamic flips in an instant. An intense love hate romance begins between employee Jang Se-yeon and team leader Kang Sung-gi. Yes. But another description is gay corporation is the epitome. What? Why can't I talk? Of hierarchical society. Here, no one dares to speak up against their superiors. At the bottom of this food chain is Si Young, a contract worker, and just like any other day, a landslide of tasks befalls upon her lap. But Si Young is a Gen Z contract worker. With her unwavering confidence, Si Young stands her ground even against her direct superior, Sung Gi. However, Sung-gi is not an easy opponent, which I don't know why they're saying that. Like, even okay, this is another thing that I don't like because I will be scrolling through webcomics and I'm like, ooh, there's this one where the guy has on a collar and a leash and the woman is holding on to it and it's like something taming the beast or something. And I'm like, okay, nice. Okay. And then I get there and it's just like he's just regular mean and I'm like, it's not kinky at all and whatever. And I'm like disappointed. And like from that description and from the image, you would not think that this was legitimately kinky. Like no, she slaps his ass and then sometimes it'll just switch over to her having him tied up and he's like spanking him and well not spanking him, just like whooping him or flogging him. Yeah, there we go. Flogging sounds better cuz whooping still sounds like she's slapping his ass and it's like no she's hitting him on the chest and stuff like they have elaborate honestly the collars and stuff are actually really cute like you could wear them as like jewelry or something like it's very I was gonna say wholesome no but it's not like it's definitely something you buy at like a sex shop that's more gaudy I guess but it's not like hardcore stuff like I feel like there's alternative wear that's also kink, and what they were using in the show is definitely more like it was for them, but also felt like they got it from like a sex shop, and it was just like, oh, like what heteronormative people who aren't into kink at all would wear because it has like a little glitter, and they're like, ooh, I want to be bad, and it's like, yeah, okay, girl. You could just do the things with a consenting adult. Like it's fine. Like you can have fun. And yeah, no, oh my god, I ate this the fuck up. But also I was like, yeah, I need to put myself out there and meet a partner or something. I want to play with someone. I want to like like wait a minute, let me not do too much. Not too much TMI here. I'm like, it's okay. We can hold on to some things. Like, I know I have a podcast and I know I like say what's on my mind, but I don't have to say everything. Um, but I mean, I feel like it's safe to say that that I love me a submissive man. And that's like man expansive. It doesn't you don't have to be cis. But love me a submissive man, love a man with long hair. It's really just so I can pull it. It's not even I mean, like, yes, you look beautiful, but it's also so I can pull it. That's really honestly never mind. um Honestly, okay, I think I'm gonna end it there. This one was gonna be short anyway. I yeah, I'm gonna be taking a break from podcasting for a little bit. I guess it's a holiday break. It's really more so I can focus on like my finals and stuff. I honestly, like, in all the schooling I've ever done with my undergrad and stuff, I've never really given myself time off from work, really, to actually work on my finals. I've always had to, like, somehow fucking get them done and be utterly exhausted and then, want to die and, like, kill myself. So, so I'm trying to avoid that for the first time, like, ever. It's like, wow, that's crazy. And it honestly was more so because I just forgot to do that. I forgot that, oh, wait, I could just take this time off. That's crazy. But anyway, follow me on Substack, vnoir.substack.com. I will be posting on it during the break just to catch up on like all of the podcast episodes with extra little tidbits and stuff. I'm on Instagram, v_noir_ as well as TikTok, v_noir. All the noirs are spelled with an E at the end. I do have a Twitch, v_noir, which I think I will try to start streaming like once a month, maybe. Once a month, but longer. Like longer streams, like maybe 6 hour streams or something. I don't know if I could do that, but we will see. My podcast archive is at www.nwwitapod.com. Again, that's www.nwwitapod.com. And yeah, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/VNoirs Film Club. Please follow because I want to watch movies with everyone. And yeah, I will see y'all in a few weeks. Bye.